Good evening. Okay, so in the last two classes, we have studied about acids and bases. Okay, now today we'll see the strength of these, which I had discussed with you in the last class. We'll be seeing the strength of acids and bases. Just give me a moment. Okay, so now moving ahead, we know acids, and we also know bases. We have seen the similarities between them and the differences between them. Now in acids, we saw various reactions of acids. We saw definition of acids. We saw examples. We also saw classification. Moving ahead, we saw the definition of bases. We saw the reaction of bases, reactions. Also, we saw the classification. During this, we also saw a few similarities between the two. Now, while discussing the classification of these two, we were talking about strength. Okay, so in today's class, what we'll be discussing is strength of acid or base solution. Okay, so before starting this, if anyone has any doubt, you can please ask your doubts. Okay, anyone having any doubts from the previous class? Okay, so seeing no doubts, I'll start with the class. So the first question that comes into our mind is what happens to an acid or base in a water solution. Okay, so what happens to an acid or base in water solution? Okay, now what we'll do is it is done using a small so I'll write the chemical reaction for you first. So we all know that whenever we add any acid to a water, it releases hydrogen ions, and whenever we are adding any base to water, it releases hydroxide ions. Okay, so suppose we have hydrochloric acid which is added to water. So the reaction is somewhat like this. Okay, where these are considered as hydrogen ions only. Okay, And we should also remember that without the presence of water, these hydrogen ions, they cannot occur. Similarly, let's consider some other example where we have acetic acid which reacts with water, and the reaction happens as okay. Now considering any base, suppose we have sodium hydroxide. When it reacts with water, what we get is sodium ions and hydroxide ions. Okay, in a similar manner, we have NH3 plus H2O. Okay, this is a base which is not of the form like we generally see bases which have OH. So this is also a base, but it does not have any OH. But when it reacts with water, we get NH4 plus hydroxide ions. Okay, so you should keep in mind. So these are the four reactions that I have given you, where the upper two are for acids and these two which are in the green box are bases. Okay, so now suppose we are having any acid. Now you can clearly see any acid has one hydrogen. Okay, any acid has one hydrogen and some other group attached to it. Clearly here also there is one hydrogen and some other group attached along with hydrogen. So we suppose that group to be A. Okay, so we suppose that group to be A. So acid will be any of the form HA, where A is any random group. In this condition, A is equal to Cl. Over in this, A is equal to Cl. Over here, A is equals to CH3COO. Okay. Now moving ahead, what happens is we suppose that HA is any weak acid. Okay. HA is any weak acid. So to find the strength of any acid, there is a term known as dissociation constant. Okay. So to find the strength of this acid, we'll refer to this dissociation constant, which is basically the quantity. Okay, I'll write this down for you. Just a moment.
Sir, can you explain once more?
Just a moment, I'll explain. Okay, so we were talking about acids. Now, see, I told you that we will take any random, we'll name the random group as A. So we have any acid HA. Okay. Now we consider it to be a weak acid. So for checking the strength, this is the term that I'm introducing, which is known as the dissociation constant. And to tell you what a dissociation constant is, it is a quantity expressing the extent to which a particular substance which a particular substance in a solution is dissociated into ions. Okay, substance in a solution is equal sorry in a solution into ions. My mistake. So basically it tells how much, what is the extent to which a particular substance has uh, formed ions into a solution. So while we were discussing, now suppose we have our acid HA, it reacts with water and it gives out, this reaction can happen in both the ways. That's why I've made this arrow, A minus and H3O plus. Okay, so this is the reaction that will be happening. Now the value of Ka, okay, this is denoted by Ka. It is given by H3. I'll explain this. So this which I have written means concentration of H3O plus. You know what concentration is? Anyone who knows what concentration is? Anyone who knows what yes, there is a hand. Yes, Akshita.
Sir, acid having the amount of acid high and the water less.
Okay, that is concentrated acid. Okay, now concentration is basically, okay, I have no, it's not. See, all of you are telling about concentrated acid. What I am talking about is concentration. Now see, we have a solution. Okay, it has 25% water, suppose, and 75% acid. Now we see that the concentration of acid is 75%. Concentration basically means the amount of that substance present in the solution. Okay, yes, Piyush has given an answer which is more or less correct. That is the amount of solute dissolved in 100 ml of solvent. So it is basically, howsoever, how much maybe you take in 1 liter, so it depends upon you. So it is basically the amount of substance that is present in the solution. Okay, so anything that you write in square brackets denotes the concentration. Okay, so this is how you find the dissociation constant. Is it clear to you all? And okay, I'll repeat this again, don't worry. So just now I told you about dissociation constant. Okay, so this is something which you may not be taught in school, but it is something important which will be of use to you all. So dissociation constant basically represents the extent to which a particular substance is in a solution is getting transformed into ions. Okay, so now we have our acid which is denoted by Ha, which we are adding to water, which gives us A minus ions and H3O plus ions. Now dissociation constant, which I explained just now, the formula is somewhat like this, where A minus can be anything. For HCl, A is equals to A is Cl. For acetic acid, A is CH3COO. A minus is okay. So it depends upon the acid, whatever. This is just a general formula. Okay. So this is the formula for dissociation constant. Is it clear to you now?
So can you have wrote the concentration some square, right? So
Yeah.
is it the form symbol or the formula for that concentration?
Okay. So the concentration which I have written H3O plus A minus, what happens is whenever, for now you won't be asked questions on this, but whenever you'll be asked questions, you will be given the value of the concentration of H3O plus ions is so and so, like you will be given a particular number, so you can directly substitute the values and then you can get the value of the dissociation constant. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this is what basically dissociation constant is. Now we know that what happens when we are mixing acid into water. We also know what happens when bases are mixed into water. So as we have identified that all acids, they generate hydrogen ions, and all bases, they generate the hydroxide ions. Okay. So let's take any base, any acid H. I'll write with the black pen, just a minute. Okay, I'll take any acid HA. Okay, and any base I'll take as MOH. Okay, so this is any base. Now when the reaction occurs, we know this is a neutralization reaction. Clearly water will be formed. So what happens over here is that I'll show you how the neutralization reaction occurs. So what happens is these A and M, they get together and they form Ma plus. Now we are talking about, whatever we are left with, it is hydrogen and OH. Okay, so when we write this, it becomes this part, that is H plus OH minus gives out H2O. Okay, so this is how H2O is formed, and this Ma is a salt. Okay, Ma is any salt. Okay, now talking about salts, they are also of three types. They can be acidic salts, basic salts, and neutral salts. Now we know what strong acid is, what weak acid is, what strong base is, what weak base is. So suppose we are having a reaction of acid plus base, which is giving out salt. Okay, I'll separate this for you. Yeah, so which is giving out salt and water. Now if our acid is strong, weak, base is weak, the salt will be acidic in nature and water is produced. Now if acid is weak, base is strong, the salt will be basic in nature and water will also be there. Now if both are strong, the salt will be neutral. and water is also present over there. And now if both are weak, then also the salt will be neutral and water will be produced. Okay, it's clear to you all? Any doubts? Anyone? Anyone? Anyone having any doubts? Once, can you all just message me the school from which you are? Please text me. Don't tell me through audio. Just send a text that from which school you all are. Okay. Just just leave a message. Okay. So this is clear to you all. Now again, see, I already told you what uh, do you all know what dilution is? For those who have just joined, please tell me the school. Please just send the school from which you are. Okay. Everyone who just joined, please message me your school. And the question that I've asked you is that what dilution is? Anyone who knows the answer? Anyone who wants to try the answer? Okay. So dilution is basically mixing an acid or base with water which results in decrease in the concentration of ions. Okay. So this process is known as dilution. Okay, while classification we studied about concentrated and diluted acids and bases. So this process of making diluted acid or diluted base, this process is known as dilution. Okay, is it clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. And please everyone send me the name of those who haven't sent. Please send me the name of the school you are from. Okay, all the participants, you are requested. Whosoever has not sent the name of the school, please send. Okay, so this is with this we are done with dilution, and now we'll be talking about we'll be coming back onto strength. Okay, so one thing we saw under strength was the dissociation constant. Now the strength, can anyone tell me how do you see the strength of an acid or bases? Have you heard of the pH scale? Okay, now what exactly, I'll tell you. Strength of an acid or base can be determined using pH scale. Okay, so what exactly is a pH scale? This pH scale is a scale which measures the hydrogen ion concentration. Okay, it measures the hydrogen ion concentration. Okay, so the name of the scale, that is pH. Here the P stands for potence, which is a German word meaning power. Okay, so basically what we are seeing over here is power of hydrogen. Now can someone tell me the different can someone tell me the different values of pH? That which
7.
pH is acidic, which pH is basic? Can anyone tell?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, if pH value is above 7 or 8, it will be considered as acidic.
If pH is above 7, it will be
Acidic.
no. If pH is above 7, it will be okay. I'll give
Base.
others a chance. Yeah, this is
Basic.
okay. That's correct. That pH
Is less than 7, it is
yeah, pH above 7 is basic in nature. Okay, and pH below 7 is acidic.
Acidic.
Yes, that's correct. And pH equal to 7.
Neutral.
Yes, pH equal to 7 is neutral. That's great. Now suppose you have this long pH scale. Okay, so I'll just make the pH scale for you. So starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. Okay, suppose we have these 14. pH scale ranges from 0 to 14, where 0 is acidic, most acidic. Okay, and 14 is most basic. So you should keep this in mind, that this is how it is shown. Now seeing the, I'll tell you the intensity. Like neutral pH can be pure water. Okay, we take pure water, it can be of pH 7. Now talking about pH 1, you know, there is acid used in digestion, so that digestive juices, they are acidic in nature, which can be of about pH 1. Now the lemon juice can be about pH 2. Now moving on to basic, we know that sodium hydroxide is strong base, so sodium hydroxide solution can be of pH about 14. Okay, so these are a few examples for your pH scale. Okay, so it basically depends, the strength depends upon the number of, for acids it depends upon the number of H plus ions produced, and for bases it is the number of OH minus ions produced. Okay, now if we take suppose acid and two acids, hydrochloric acid and acetic acid, of say take same amount of both of these, so hydrochloric acid, that is HCl, will produce more H plus ions when compared to acetic acid. That's why we call hydrochloric acid to be a stronger acid. Okay, so this is the basic funda about strength and how we come to know about strength. So now I'll make a diagram for you which will make it easy for you to understand. So suppose you have this box. Okay, there's a hand raise.
So
Yes,
you,
and Maria.
so you said about the hydrochloric acid and acetic acid. Can you just repeat it once more?
Okay, so we call that we say that hydrochloric acid is strong acid. Yes.
Yes, sir.
So and acetic acid is known as a weak acid. So when we take same amount of both of these acids, so the hydrochloric acid will produce more hydrogen ions as compared to acetic acids. Okay, so
Yes,
this
sir.
is why hydrochloric acid is the strong acid and acetic acid is weak acid. Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, so now let this be 0 and this be 14, and this part be 7, that is neutral. Okay, this is 7 and neutral. Now moving ahead, if we see this, I'll just explain this diagram to you, so don't worry. Now all this part which I'm shading blue, this shaded part which is blue, This shows the concentration of H plus ions. Okay, so we can write it as this. So as we move ahead in this direction, this is acidic and this direction is basic. Over here, concentration, there's an increase in H plus ions concentration. If we move here, there is a decrease in the concentration of H plus ions. Okay, so now it's clear to you that this is how the pH scale is. If the pH is 0, it is very acidic, and the concentration of H plus ions is the most when pH is equal to 0. And as we move towards higher pH, the concentration of H plus ions decreases, and it's like after 7 it is basic in nature. Okay, so anyone having any doubts? Any doubts, anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, so now we know that what exactly pH is. Yes, Akshita, please unmute yourself. Yes, what's the doubt, Akshita?
Sir, where this used?
Okay, now we'll be discussing the use of this pH only. Okay, so this is the now first of all, now you all know that what exactly a pH is. Now talking about the uses of this pH. Okay, now we'll be discussing importance of pH in everyday life. Okay, now when talking about importance of pH in everyday life, just tell me one thing. Does anyone know what is the pH of human body? Anyone guess what is the pH of human body?
7.
Any more guesses? Okay, Bhavika is also saying 7.
Sir,
Yes,
7.
Akshita.
Sir, 7.0 to 7.8.
Okay, 7.0 to 7.8. Okay, any more answers? Anyone who wants to try? Piyush, you're saying 0. That means human body is acidic. Everyone is saying 7. So if we take an average, it is said to be human body has a pH of about 7.4. Okay, yeah, Tanmay, that's correct. It is of about 7.4. Generally, we take the range 7.0 to 7.8, but as an average, we say it is about 7.4. Okay. And this is basically about the musculoskeletal system in the body. This is because of that you'll be studying later. So this slightly basic nature is because of the musculoskeletal system of the body. So this is the first thing, that the human body has a pH of about 7.4. Okay. Also, you all know that can anyone tell me what is the pH of stomach? Anyone?
6.
6 is not the right answer. Why 0? Piyush and Tanmay are saying 0. That means it's like very strongly acidic in nature. So Bhavika has said 1.2. So basically what happens is the acid which is there, it is about 1.2, but the pH of stomach is about 2. Okay. So can you tell me why this is about 2? Why the pH is about 2
So
in
because of
stomach?
acid, hydrochloric acid.
Okay, and why is hydrochloric acid present in our stomach?
To make the food acidic.
Okay, you want to make the food acidic, and why do you want to make the food acidic?
So that pepsin can digest protein from that food, acidic food.
Yeah, that's correct. Pepsin protein, because this is because of the hydrochloric acid. And is required for activation of pepsin protein. Okay. And this pepsin protein, it needs to be activated as it helps in protein digestion. Okay. So it's clear to you the second point. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now moving ahead. So now the first thing that we saw was the pH in our body. Now after that, we have seen the pH in our digestive system. Okay. Now one more thing that you should know is that the pH, this can also, the tooth decay in your mouth is also due to the pH. Okay, the second point I'll tell once more. Krish Kumar wants. Okay, I'll explain the second point. So what happens is, we all know that hydrochloric acid is secreted in our stomach. Okay, so that's why the pH is 2 in stomach. Now, why is this hydrochloric acid secreted? This is because it is required for the activation of pepsin, which is used for the digestion of proteins. Okay. It's clear with you? Now it's clear to you? Okay. Now, the third point which we'll be discussing is that this pH can cause tooth decay in our mouth. So I'll tell you. So tooth decay starts when pH of mouth is below 5.5. Okay. And how does the pH of mouth becomes acidic? I'll tell you. Now, can you tell me what are the teeth made up of? What are the teeth made up of?
Calcium?
Have you heard the word enamel?
No,
That
sir.
is enamel. It is
It's
the enamel that the teeth is made up of. It is calcium phosphate. Okay. To give you the chemical formula, the enamel is made up of calcium phosphate. That's why we said that our teeth are made up of calcium. It is basically calcium phosphate. Okay. So this enamel, it corrodes below pH 5.5. And how does this pH goes below 5.5? Because there's bacteria in our mouth. There are bacteria in our mouth, and what they do is they produce acid by degradation of sugar and food particles. Okay. Degradation of sugar and food particles which remain in our mouth after eating food. Okay. So after eating food, doctors and dentists say you to brush your teeth. That is uh, because if you brush your teeth, these sugar and food particles, they are removed. Because if they stay in your mouth, then these bacterias, they turn these bacterias, it degrades and produces acid, and this acid makes the pH go below 5.5, which can lead to tooth decay. So now you know why your dentists always ask you and force you to brush your teeth after eating and before you go to bed. Any doubts? Anyone? Any doubts? Anyone having any doubts in that point?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So now one more thing we'll see is, okay, now these acids, they are also used as self-defense by animals. Okay. By animals and plants. So have you ever seen a honeybee or any bee? Okay, so there's this honeybee, and if a honeybee stings you or bites you, okay, so if you are stung by a honeybee, it causes pain and irritation, right? This is because these honeybees, they inject which acid? I've told you guys. Does anyone remember which acids do the honeybee secrete if they bite?
Methanoic acid.
Are you sure about the methanoic acid? Are you sure with your answer?
Sir, formic acid.
Yeah, formic acid is the answer. Okay. So the acid is known as formic acid, which is basically methanoic acid. Okay, so you both are correct. Don't worry, you were also correct. Formic acid is the common name, and it is methanoic acid only. So you can use any of the two. They both are same. Okay, so they inject these acids. Now whenever there is a honeybee bite, what most people do is they rub base onto it. Okay, rub base like soap or any baking soda solution. Okay, so what happens is a neutralization reaction occurs and the effect of acid, it is removed. Okay, this is how honeybee uses the formic acid or the methanoic acid as their defense. Okay, I hope it's clear. Okay, so there is a question that why we sometimes rub an iron object. Okay, so while discussing this, while discussing the reactions, we saw that a reaction of acids with metal, and when acid reacts with metal, it gives out salt and hydrogen gas. Okay, so again the acid is removed and therefore it gives relaxation. So sometimes we also rub metal onto it. Now it's clear to you. So either we rub any base or we rub any metal for this. Now one more example I'll give you. Okay, now one example that we'll see now is about a wasp sting. So the wasp sting, what they do is they inject alkaline. They inject alkaline. So what we do is we apply vinegar. Okay, vinegar is acetic acid. Okay, so this acetic acid, can anyone tell me what is an alkaline?
Dissolved in water.
What? Can you repeat again?
Base dissolved in water.
Yeah, that's correct. So the base which can be dissolved in water is known as an alkaline. So to again we apply acid, so there is neutralization of the same, and therefore this sting of wasp is neutralized and the pain and irritation are gone. Okay, so it's clear to you all now. Any doubts you guys have in this?
No, sir.
Okay, so the next thing I talk about is the pH of soil. Okay, so can you tell me at what pH do you think the soils will be growing? Anyone? What do you think, at what pH would the plants be growing? Okay, and Maria has said 5. Okay, so the pH of the soil should be 7. Okay, it should be neutral. for plants to grow. And if the pH changes, then we can use substances, chemical fertilizers. Okay, so we use chemical fertilizers. We all know that chemical fertilizers are used. So these chemical fertilizers, they can affect the pH and cause it to be acidic or basic in nature. So again, if it becomes acidic or basic, we need to add suitable substances. Okay, suitable chemicals are added to make soil neutral again. Okay, so I hope now it's clear to you. Anyone having any doubts? Okay, so it's clear to you all. I say that there are no hands raised, so I feel it's clear to you all.
Yes,
So
sir.
now moving ahead, we'll end today's class for the day. And in the next class, we'll be talking about salts and indicators and some important chemical compounds, okay, and their various uses. So there's not much left in this chapter. We'll be completing it in 1 or 2 classes. So with this, I'll end today's class. If you guys have no doubts, okay, so study well and stay safe. Good night, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.